You are now about to witness the awesome, crushing might of the Eugene S. Robinson Show. Stomper! Welcome, my friends. The show that seemingly never ends. This is version 387 in the UK. There you go. Of the Eugene S. Robinson Show Stomper. I'm your host, Eugene S. Robinson. We'll get to the show, but first, let's let Bob Riley sing us in as he has every single week since 2007. The record, Calling of the Just. The song, Intro All of Nothing. Still available through Revelation Records in Huntington Beach, California, where they shoot you to death at a nightclub, hit your car with a hammer, and run your mayor pro tem out of town to open up a substandard restaurant in Central Florida that will inevitably fail. Yeah, we got it. Listen well. Vinny well, brother. Bob Riley, I finally found your tapes. If you're listening, Bob, I got them right here. All of the Stigmata tape. Got them right here.
I'm on my way back nowhere. I took my time with a good
Could not see so clear, but I'm taking a real good look. I'm taking a real good look at your face.
on my way back there, boy.
So be and payback and for always nothing. All right, my friend. I almost went to turn off like the music on the phone. I forgot we got this new fancy June-inspired system where I don't have to do that anymore because it doesn't come off the phone. I was going to press a button. It would have been inevitably a terrible thing to press. No pressing buttons during the show. Anyway, this is version 387. Now, you'll notice it's no longer November 1st, which means I cut June a humongous check for November 1st yesterday, and I'm sad to say, not all of you are pulling your weight here. There are ways to do it. There's CashApp, there's Venmo, there's PayPal, there's Zelle, there's subscribing to Substack. Yeah, I picked up a few of you from Substack. That's all right. That's nice. That means you're also getting two things for the price of one. You're getting the Substack and the show. I'm not going to quibble. $5 here, $5 there. It helps based on the numbers of people who watch the show. If you all gave $5, I'd be a happy camper. But that's right. Exploit me. You see what I'm doing here? You see what? It doesn't matter what I think. It's not because the show, I'm a new man now. It's not about me anymore. It's about all of foolish man, like Dom DeLuise said, and like I mentioned in this Substack that I am. I should not weep, but should instead count my blessings. If you know what movie that's from, you know as soon as he gives himself that pep talk, he screams, "I don't want to live," runs headfirst into a wall. Alternatively, maybe he stabs himself in the stomach and rolls around on the ground in pain. I have sidestepped all of those. If you can see it in your heart to help an old altar boy father, that would be nice. It would be nice. Because at this point now, I have, there's a friend of mine, and I'm just calling him a friend to conceal his identity. He might be a relative, but I don't want to be 85 years old scrounging up nickels. All right. There are ways to avoid having that happen. And one of those ways is like, you guys chip in a little bit for this. That's all I'm saying. End of the commercial. Commercial is done. So, okay. Yes. All right. So, you're just opening personal commercials versus the, yeah. Okay, that's perfect. So anyway, give if you can give, but that also ties into kind of what I've been thinking about and kind of obsessed with. Let's go back in time, way back in time. All right, let's go back to 1978. Now, in 1978, if you were going to CBGBs, or you were hanging around the Bowery, the men's shelter on 3rd Street, you saw what we call bums. These were guys who were committed to a life of wine drinking, had no interest. I mean, you've heard me, you can't Donna Shalala me on my own show. They had no interest in these guys. They had an experiment. And some rich people upstate had died. And they said, you know what? They left their building, their house, this wonderful, house in like Westchester or Yonkers or something. They we're gonna open it up to help the indigent. Yeah, I got it, RP. I got it. And all of a sudden they had a bus show up, and they took all these bums to his nice country house. I don't know, just say 30 of them. 30 of them. Okay. A few days later, there were 25 of them. 2 weeks later, there was 20 of them. You see where this is going. A month later, there were like 2 guys left in this house, and they went back down to the Bowery, and they found these guys, and they were like, yo, what? We gave you free room, free board. And they're like, yeah, it's boring up there. They preferred sitting out on the sidewalk on 3rd Street, drinking with their friends, than drink it up in a house in the country where they couldn't see. The electricity of New York was absent. Which means a couple of things. It means that in 1977, 78, the only people that you saw in the streets were bums. Guys who were committed to that as a lifestyle. There was no homeless fucking problem in 19. You didn't see families, women with babies. You didn't see that shit. So I'm sure people were being thrown out. There's a whole, if you, as you went uptown a little bit, so you get in the 30s, get Port Authority bus station, get the runaways coming who would then turn into prostitutes. Okay, yeah, that's something else. People were always running away from home with no place to live and then get exploited. That's something else. But it was rare to go above to find. Now, as you move uptown, you get to 59th Street. So I'm walking on 59th Street or 60th Street with a friend of mine, right? And yeah, winos, bums and winos. That's what we call them. So, and we're walking by Carnegie Hall when people are going in, and I see a guy, and he looks to me what I would later call like a California guy. Sandy hair, white guy. I'm about 16 or 17. So he looked to me, he was probably about 40, 45. And he's cadging money. He's bumming money. Bums and winos didn't do that. And they're sitting on the sidewalk drinking. Maybe, you'd see them go raise a hand, but not that wasn't, they just didn't want to go anywhere. I mean, it was just a different vibe, right? So this guy, he's asking people for money, and I tell my buddy, I go, hey, watch this. And so we walk up to the guy, and he says, and just as he's about to say, hey, could you fellas spare? I go, hey, buddy, could you spare some money? And I was smiling when I did it, it's like, got you, you fuck. And the guy was like, hey, man, I'm out here trying to get money to eat. And I was like, oh, and he pulled the Uno card on me, man. And that instant, I felt like a piece of shit. I felt really bad. I didn't give him any money, but I felt really bad. Now, flash forward to, I've understood that they had a Berkeley student who did his thesis on being homeless and to get under the skin of homelessness. Now it's a culture, right? Closing of mental institutions, guys on the street, families, kids, generational homelessness, right? And so he decides he's going to do his thesis on being homeless. And so he goes out and he's homeless. And what he discovered was that homeless people become invisible. It is so common now as part of the urban landscape. You just tune them out, man. And if you pay attention after that, a lot of what homeless people do after that is just to be seen. Yeah, the guy with the grocery cart full of shit going into CVS, running out, probably he'll sell that stuff. But, what's more is that he's like, you're going to treat me like I'm fucking invisible? Okay. I'm going to poop in the middle of the intersection. How invisible is that? I was with my kid once. driving through the Tenderloin, and there's a guy running, jogging naked down the street. And she goes, "Look, Dad, that guy's naked." I go, "Wow, he certainly is." Teachable moment. I go, "Let's see what happens when he runs by this police car." And the police see this guy, and they just look away. Because he's got no ID on him. The fuck, let bother this guy. So she and I were going to an audition. She was, I had all my kids doing commercials before they started real school, make a little money for their college careers, right? But I like to keep the talk. Emily knew it was more about father-daughter time. Keep the talk happy, keep it light, keep it fun. Put her on my shoulders. We're walking some guy. Now the guy's younger than me and he's white. He's asking me for money. I look him in the eye. I give him the attention that he needs. He says, "No, sorry." The guy goes, "You're not sorry." And I Anyway, so Saturday, if the shoes fit, it's next Sunday, another Substack and another show. Actually, am I back? Yeah, I'm back. I'm back on Saturday. So it might screw up. Actually, it won't. If the shoes fit, will be a little bit later, but I'll do it Saturday when I get back. And then the show, Substack, and the show will shoot the case. Try not to die between now and then. The kid is sleeping now, so I'm not going to scream. I haven't screamed. Good English. I haven't screamed for a while. Okay. That's the end of the show. Look what you made me do! That hurts it.
Thanks for joining us this week for yet another episode of the Show Stomper podcast, featuring your host, Eugene S. Robinson. Be sure to follow Eugene's weekly newsletter, which is a soaring hit at eugenesrobinson.substack.com. If you're still on Twitter, he's at Eugene S. Robinson. While you're at it, follow him on Insta at Mr. Sleep 3, that's the number 3. For more episodes of the show that seemingly never ends, go to showstomper.substack.com and become a subscriber today. Eventually, it will house all the Knuckle Up archives we can locate. We already have all the jiu-jitsu breakdowns for free. Check out Eugene on the Bad Boss Brief podcast every other Wednesday morning, as well as the If the Shoes Fit podcast. Pick up his memoir, A Walk Across Dirty Water and Straight into Murderer's Row today, and be sure to leave him a much appreciated honest Amazon review.
Hey, are you still there? I'm here too. This is me, June M. Williams, Eugene's producer.
The Show Stomper has been produced by Original Designs, owned and operated by me, June M. Williams. I provide Eugene with videography, original show graphics, motion graphics, show logos, podcast syndication, social media, and more. I can be reached at originals@gmail.com, spelled ORIJUNELS @gmail.com.